Namaskar.
Namaskar, Akil. Yeah,
Thanks for taking the time.
glad to. Yeah,
We are here in southern Germany, Madhukaruna. It's a beautiful vibe. I actually have a lot of childhood memories to this very corner.
great.
Because I used to come here as a child with my parents and hang out with the other Margi kids.
Yeah.
What's your memories to this place?
Oh, the first time I was here was probably 92 or maybe 93, again, a long time ago. I can't remember. And at that time, I was spending a lot of time in Singapore with Ananda Marga as a teacher, and had the opportunity to fly here, long flight, and got here, again, it was summertime. I don't think we had the rain, as I recall. I was here for a few days. It seems like there was a more wooded area also, if I can remember, but it may be my imagination. And it was great meeting people, wonderful classes, wonderful meditation, and it was quite enjoyable. But I was here just for a few days, so it, and then life went on, so I didn't think so much more about it. Then in 1998, my work took me to, as a teacher my work took me to coming to Europe full time. And so I was here every year, sometimes twice a year. The winter retreats could be a little bit chilly, this being Germany, and I had been used to the Middle East and the Far East for many years, so it took me a little while to realize that this is kind of the normal temperature for people. Yeah.
For those of you who are not really familiar, this is Dada Jyotirupananda, and he's a monk and meditation teacher of the Ananda Marga mission. And maybe you can give us a little bit of background on how you actually made that leap into learning meditation first and then becoming a monk. Also, you seem to have traveled around a lot. Like, where are you originally even from? I don't know.
Yeah, well, in some of the writing I've done, but I haven't published yet, I say that to be a yogic monk, I went from Indiana to India. I'm from the state of Indiana, although to tell the truth, I had not lived there for many years before I left the States. But it sounds nice from Indiana to India. And in southern Indiana, where I was a student at a big university, I had, of course, a number of friends, and I re-met one of my friends after the summer break. And if you see my body language, he was more calm, more quiet, peaceful than my other friends, and more than he had been before. I didn't really ask him why do you feel that way, but it turned out over the summer, among his travels and other experiences, he'd learned something called meditation, whatever that was, actually from the father of a friend of his, just, I'm sure, a simple meditation as I look back on it. And we talked about it. He showed me a book or two, loaned me a book here and there, maybe some magazine articles also. And I thought, well, this could be something that might help me. Why did I need help, you might be asking, Akil? I realized, compared to my friend Kaler, that was his name, that my mind was going a mile a minute, as we say. I had very little control over my thoughts, my emotions always going up and down, in and out, chattering in my mind all the time. And from what he said, and from what I felt from being with him those first few times, that meditation might help me to be more calm, have less stress, although in those days we didn't use the word stress so much. It was nowadays, oh, you have problems, you must have too much stress.
Yeah.
It's a not exactly a soundbite, but it's a common word.
It's probably the most common word in people with problems.
Yeah. But I think it probably generalizes too much when they say stress. You may not be getting to the root of the problem of the person. Is it totally internal, his or her problems? Is it related to their family or to the world around them? Is it related to a lack of opportunities, a lack of being able to express him or herself? Is it more physiological? Is it more mental? I guess a good doctor, a good therapist would be able to answer these questions about this or that person. But as you say, in general, stress, and it covers a lot.
And that was the trigger that got you interested. And then you learned the same meditation as that friend?
No, I learned various things from different teachers. Probably from that friend Kaler, I might have learned some breathing exercises. One exercise which summarizes perhaps where I was in those days, I was about, I guess, 19 at that time. And from Kaler, I'd read this book or that book. He loaned me a copy of the Autobiography of a Yogi, which is, I think, still today the most famous book on yoga.
It's such a weird book. I couldn't understand anything.
No? Okay. Well, maybe you might try it again. I've probably read it twice. When I was in my younger days, I look at it now once in a while. But it influenced a lot of people. It affected a lot of people. So not from that book, from another book or magazine article, maybe something Kaler told me, I learned about something called a candle exercise. In this exercise, you find a place where you're alone, should be dark, and you light a candle, you look at the candle minute after minute after minute. Certain feelings come to you, maybe memories of past lives or other things like that. And it sounded so exciting. So I was living in the dorms in my university with a roommate, Jim, and he was out for the evening. It was dark. I locked the door because in the dorms, or the halls as they might say, your friends are always coming in and out. That's normal. So I locked the door, turned off the light. I knew Jim wasn't going to be back for some time. Sat on the floor, had a candle there on a tray, whatever. And I guess I mentally prepared myself by just thinking some nice thoughts, whatever, trying to be calm. And knowing that as I lit the candle, I'd stare at the candle flame, and after some minutes and more minutes and more minutes, I would start getting these deeper experiences. Wow, that's exciting. So I was sitting there on the floor, the door was locked, the lights were off. I lit the candle, and I could sit for about that long, maybe 10 seconds at the most. Too much for me. I just couldn't take it anymore. Blew out the candle, turned out the light, got my jacket, went outside looking for someone to do anything. So I quickly realized, of course, that I'm not quite ready for deep meditation. Later, as time went on, as I learned more about meditation and found proper teachers, shall we say, I realized that you need some focus and some motivation. You need to understand why you're doing meditation, not just close your eyes. And you need shall we say, a technique, a way to do it. Just like I suppose, for some reason, tennis comes to my mind. I guess because Wimbledon happened a few weeks ago,
I watched it.
A big tournament. And let's say you want to be a tennis player, and maybe you've seen some people on TV playing tennis, on YouTube, whatever. And you borrow a racket from your father or your friend or the gym at school, and you get out there and start playing. Probably you won't go very far because you haven't had any instruction. And maybe you don't even know the rules of tennis. Now, for meditation, we're not talking about the rules, but we're talking about techniques, about the process of doing it. So with the candle exercise, of course, I failed. The failure, actually, as I say this to you, I realize that failure in anything is not that you couldn't do it, but failure is if you did not learn why you didn't do it or couldn't do it. And to be frank, I didn't reflect on the candle exercise at all. I just thought, that doesn't work. So I was not so mature in the sense of being able to learn new things. Yeah.
It's a key skill, right? To always, when you do something, reflect, what did I learn out of this?
Yeah, or why didn't I learn something out of it? Either way, yeah. It could be in situations like school we're talking about, or meditation. Was it me? Was it the teacher? Was it my lack of being able to connect with the teacher? Was it my lack of interest, but it's just something I tried to do, but I didn't have any deep motivation?
Yeah.
There's many different reasons.
One habit I started for that reason is that whenever I do something and it doesn't work the way I want it, or I feel like I failed, something went terribly wrong, I always make sure to write a short note on that experience.
Okay, great.
And so I have a database of maybe 100, I call them mess-ups or failures, but every time there's a learning in there, and those learnings, when I write them down, they kind of stick. It happened before that I made the same mistake 2 or 3 times, but the third time I'm so angry with myself, I write it in such a vivid language that I'd never make that mistake again.
Okay, good. But as I think we're both saying, just to repeat, the only failure is if you don't learn from what happens. No one can be perfect all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm from USA, and baseball is a big sport there. But what's commonly known there, and growth coaches, counselors will say this, is that the best baseball players never succeed more than a third of the time in hitting the ball, which is the main thing.
Yeah.
But they keep going,
That's
and
so
hopefully, if they're good enough, and intelligent enough, they learn from their mistakes. Yeah.
That's such an important mindset, and there are some areas where this mindset is really hard to bring to and apply. One that I'm working with a lot is social skills, because in social skills, you have to think the same way. When you have a conversation with someone and it doesn't go well, you must not think that now my social skills are bad. It's just not. Compatibility is a factor. There's so many environmental factors that you can't control. And you got to move on, say, what can I learn from this, but not get disheartened and go talk to the next person.
Exactly, and whether it's social skills, meditation, sports, the arts, sciences, it's the same thing. The people I feel who succeed the most in any part of life are not the people who don't make mistakes, but the people who succeed are, as we're saying, the ones who learn from their mistakes. And I tell people, of course I can't prove this statistically, I've never researched it in that way, but the people on, as we call it, the breadline, have probably made less mistakes than the most successful people, but they just didn't learn from their mistakes. And the successful people in whatever field, they learn from their mistakes.
How many different traditions did you have to then try out before you found Ananda Marga?
Okay, I tried different things here and there. I met some. Before I started formal meditation, I met some fairly famous yoga teachers, meditation teachers, and I might try sitting there and repeating this idea or this phrase or visualizing such and such. These were minor things. Then, when I was about 21, almost 22, I'd been looking for the meditation, and at that time, the main meditation practice or school in much of the U.S. and certainly in my small town was transcendental meditation, what we call TM. And I was resisting it. No, my friends were doing it, and I always found reasons why, not for me. Then one day I was sitting in a cafe in the university with a friend of mine named Gus Gonzalo, but we called him Gus. And he had started the meditation, TM, sometime before, and we're just sitting there looking at our books, drinking a cup of coffee, whatever. And he said, there's a course starting soon, and if you take it, you'll be able to do the meditation all summer until the next school year. You'll get habituated to it, shall we say. If he'd said that a week before, whatever, I would have, not now, Gus, but something clicked in my mind. And I realized, yes, now's the time for me. So the next week they had a course starting where in their courses, you come to a lecture 2 or 3 times. Then if it seems suitable, you make an appointment for a personal meeting with the teacher who then instructs you in the meditation practice. So I went to that meeting the next week with a couple of friends, and it was okay. I wasn't enamored or enthralled by them, but I thought, okay, at least it's a start until I find maybe something else. And I went home that evening. I was, as I said, about 20, 21 years old, 21, I guess, and I was not good at all at committing myself to anything or completing tasks, unless like a school assignment, which you know how to do and you have to. But as we walked home that night, it was dark. I was looking up at the sky, at the stars, and I realized I'm going to start meditation, and I'm going to do it for the rest of my life. If I'd said that to either of my friends who I was walking with or anyone else, they, oh yeah, sure. But I went to the 2 or 3 or 4 classes they had, made an appointment with the teacher, went there, met her. She went through a small ceremony and taught me a mantra. And from that day till now, I've never missed a day of meditation. Long time ago.
Incredible.
Yeah, and I kept up that. The TM was very simple in a way. Maybe not simple if you didn't have the patience, if you didn't have the purpose. But I had the purpose of becoming a better version of myself, as we might say nowadays.
And that concept was clear to you? It was clear that this meditation would help you become a better version?
Yeah,
basically from day one?
It was clear to me partly from what I learned from the TM teachers, but also from what I'd learned from Kaler. By that time he'd moved to India to learn more about meditation. And from what I'd read in books and friends and all that, and just the little bit I knew about myself, because in those days I didn't know much about myself. But yeah, it was clear. And I kept up the TM twice a day as they recommend. That's a common practice. And in Ananda Marga, we also recommend doing meditation twice a day. And but after a while, I realized it was getting a bit dry. And as you may know, and anyone who's done TM certainly knows, it costs money to do the practice. And if you want to learn the next level and the next level, etc., it costs more money. I was a student. I had, money to live on, but not to spend, so free easily on these things. So also, as I think I just said, the meditation was getting a bit dry. With the mantras that they teach, fine beginning mantras, but they have no meaning. So without a meaning, I was just sitting there doing the meditation, but I hadn't understood any purpose, any future with the meditation, because it's just a sound that you repeat. And eventually I started meeting people from this group called Ananda Marga. I could hardly pronounce it. And good people, they seemed like. One was the brother of a good friend of mine. And other people I would meet, one fellow who was quite active in the meditation had been a heroin addict, but he took up meditation, stopped it. I thought, well, that's pretty good. And also they were quite friendly people. I learned just a little bit about their philosophy, but mainly what I saw was that they did their meditation, and as I said, they seemed like just fine people. Not above other people, but they were level-headed, shall we say. And also I found out that they were doing a lot of social service. And I thought, oh, not only meditating so that I can find realization, but also they're helping other people at whatever level the people needed help. And it wasn't like they were making money from it. They, until today, as you may know, having been brought up in a Margi family, I'm an Ananda Marga family, we're pretty rubbish at advertising, at that type of thing. And that was kind of part of the charm about it to me, that they weren't out there saying, yeah, follow us, join us, but rather they were teaching meditation, but they were also busy with helping people in whatever way they could. And that impressed me.
Do you remember that moment where you discovered that it is quite different from a lot of westernized meditation approaches, where oftentimes they try to explain it in terms of very rigorous science, and it's just about breath, and nowadays there's mindfulness, which doesn't have that depth of many Oriental traditions, where there's often like a master, there's like a personal connection with the master that's very important. I always ask people that I interview these days, like, how was that for you in the beginning to see that guru and to see that there was supposed to be some kind of special connection? That's a very difficult topic for me, even though I was born and brought up in a Margi society.
Yeah.
What was that like for you in the beginning?
Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to recall back in those days, a long time ago, what the general perception of gurus was. Nowadays, many people I meet who may be interested in meditation, guru, no, you can teach me Dada, but then I'll do it. You might call it a type of independence, and independence is good in many ways. But an example I sometimes use is, think about when you were a kid, and think about the simple things, the common things you do nowadays, like tying your shoes, brushing your teeth. Did you learn that by yourself? Akhil, did you learn those things by yourself?
Nope, from my parents.
Yeah, probably even combing your hair you learned from your parents, and what's more basic than that? So if those things need a teacher, a guide, then meditation, which is rather more complex and can take you very deep into experience, but it's not a common thing that we learn in school or watching YouTube or reading a book, whatever. So definitely a teacher is useful, necessary for that type of thing. To learn who is the best teacher, I tell people, do your research. If you are somewhat interested in, say, Ananda Marga or TM or anything else, take some time to find people who follow that teacher, that master, that guru. See what they're like, see what their experiences are with the teacher, read about the teacher. Nowadays, with the internet, we can find out so many things in a very short time.
But then there is something special about that teacher, because in the Western civilization, you having been socialized in America, you know this. We accept teachers. you accepted your professors, you accepted school teachers, but somehow we don't ever say whatever the teacher says is the truth for sure. And in Anandamarga as well, we say that this is not the way you should really go about it. There should not be dogma in the sense that you should not believe things blindly. But then nevertheless, this teacher, we attribute a very special status, and that is something for a Western mind is still very hard for me to grasp.
It's very hard. I didn't give him any particular status except that he was a teacher. He had inspired the other members of Anandamarga, including the meditation teachers, as I am now. And you interview other teachers like myself. I didn't give him a high status like I have to bow down to him or surrender to him, but I kept up with my meditation. I started reading the books that he wrote. Anandamurti, the name that we use for our guru.
Yeah.
And I realized gradually, not immediately, but I realized there's something here that I don't find other places in the books. And also as I met other people in Anandamarga and other teachers, as I said, I am now one, but in those days I was far from even thinking about being a Dada meditation teacher. I felt there's something with these people, something about these people that I don't find other places. But as far as accepting what a teacher says, well, I was a pretty rubbish math student, but whatever the teacher said in maths, whatever level, I accepted that he or she, the teacher, knew what they were talking about. And with English grammar or learning Spanish or history, I pretty much accepted what was in the books. Nowadays I realize they weren't always correct. Now maths I won't argue with, but in history there are many ways to interpret it. We don't go into that. We don't need to go into that now, but it's not always absolute in certain subjects, where in maths probably is.
What career path were you on back then? What were you actually studying?
I was studying sociology, but though it was good, it didn't catch me to continue with it. So I think I know what direction you're going now, but as far as how I understood the Guru, I kept up with my Anandamarga meditation daily. I did other practices. I changed my diet gradually to a vegetarian diet, which really made a big difference for me in many ways. I stayed away from drinking and other things, as virtually any yoga teacher or meditation teacher would recommend. And as I said, I was reading the books, doing yoga asanas, going to group meetings with the other people in Anandamarga. And gradually my mind started becoming more quiet. Not quiet like, if you're dumb, you're also quiet. I don't mean dumb like you can't talk, I don't mean mute, but if you're kind of stupid, you may not talk much anyway, although some stupid people talk a lot. But I would observe things and start to feel things, and gradually as I learned more of the levels of meditation that you can learn in Anandamarga, that quietness of mind and a certain awareness struck me such that I eventually realized that what I'm learning in Anandamarga is, the word that comes to my mind right now is magnificent. I don't know why that word comes. Amazing, deep, very subtle. There's many ways you can look at it depending on what you want to experience or what you do experience. And I realized that this is just the best thing I can find. Yeah.
Was there a specific moment or experience that made you decide to not just practice but also start teaching and become a monk?
Probably the final experience. I'd been looking at it this way and that way. Maybe I should become a monk, maybe I should get married, is normal and healthy and good. But then one evening I talked to one of our teachers. I had known him even before he had become a Dada, as I am now, and we were friends, and he was a straightforward person. I knew that the things he said were not going to be a pitch, but they were going to be from his heart and from his experience. And I went to him and said, Dada, I don't know what I should do, really. Which direction should I go? Should I become a monk, as a few people do? Not everyone can do it or is qualified to do it. Or should I lead a more regular but very meaningful life? And we talked for about an hour. I can hardly remember one word he said now, but he talked from his experience. He talked from what he knew about me, my capabilities or potentiality. And at the end of that hour, I realized, yes, I will become a monk. I will spend my time, use my time to serve the society in many ways. Teaching meditation is a really important way because what we do in the world depends a lot on our mindset. And imagine if many of our great world leaders, whether in politics or business or academia or religion, whatever, imagine if they were doing meditation and could see things on a deeper level outside of their own me.
Yeah.
I think the world would be a whole lot better place. Yeah.
Back then, in those times, I guess one factor that offered people this kind of connection to the universe was actually the counterculture, the LSD movement, and also in some way technology. I wonder how it was back then in that time when a lot of your friends and colleagues must have gone into careers and gone into technology and maybe tried out these different substances to expand their mind, and you said, no, I'm gonna go and become a monk of this very obscure organization.
It is obscure as far as the media goes, as far as the what's known in the world, whether in yoga and meditation or in technology, as you say, or anything else. Well, as far as the substances, before I started TM, which is a good but simple meditation practice, I won't put it down, diss it, as we might say, but for me it served a purpose for a while. But before doing that, I had been quite involved with soft drugs. I never was a cigarette smoker, maybe a few in my whole life, just for the heck of it, on a certain day, but I never got into cigarettes, but I was quite involved with things like marijuana and hashish. And there was one time, not many months before I decided to take up TM, that I decided I'm going to go 2 weeks without doing any drugs, any marijuana, hashish, whatever. And at the end of those 2 weeks, my mind was like, and my body was like just so tense, so nervous, so emotionally fragile, shall I say.
Oh, wow.
A phrase I just made up, I think. And so I went home. The 2 weeks were up that I'd made that agreement with myself. I took a few puffs of marijuana, I relaxed, and all of my tension, all of my troubles went away like a puff of smoke.
Literally.
But what I realized, maybe not at that moment, but what I realized then is that if I need this substance to be calm, relaxed, I'm not going in the right direction in my life. And then, but I kept it up, and then, as I say, I met Gonzalo, my friend Gus. We were talking that day, and he inspired me, motivated me to take up meditation. And from the day I started the meditation, I never looked back. I never had any attraction for any of these things again.
Wow.
Why? I don't know. Was it more medical, physiological? Was it psychological? I don't know, but I just never touched any of those things again. That doesn't work for everyone. Some people who I teach meditation to, they still need that substance or that alcohol for a while, but if they're serious about the meditation, and perhaps with suggestions from me for various things, changing diet, changing your focus, your friends, I don't tell people give up your friends, but changing your the people you hang out with. Then people can generally give up those substances, as you're saying. Yeah.
Alcohol seems to be an extremely important technology even now for people to open up and to relax, and especially to connect with others. A lot of people have some kind of social fears. I also had those.
Yeah.
And alcohol seems to be the method of most acceptance for people to let go of those boundaries. Here at this retreat, you can see people just being themselves and kind of chilling and doing their own thing, and sometimes connecting and then singing and dancing ecstatically without any alcohol. But it seems to be pretty hard to get people to realize that they don't need the alcohol, really.
Part of it may be, as I said, medical or physiological. Maybe alcohol does have an addictive property to it, as I know cigarettes do. Sugar does, and other things which you may know more about than I do. With alcohol, though, I think if you can realize that there's other ways to relax, other ways to get ahead, and these things don't have the, I don't want to say drawbacks, what's the word, the negative qualities that alcohol does?
Side effects.
Side effects is the word, And then I think people can more easily go away from alcohol and take up meditation, yoga, whatever other things that might work for them. For some people, it might be just exercise. Yeah. But you may have to. I talked about friends a moment ago, or we might say social circles to make it more general. You may have to, as we might say, bite the bullet and say, these are great people, I love them, but for my social life, I need to look somewhere else so that I don't get hooked on the alcohol, or I don't stay hooked on the alcohol. The side effects of alcohol or marijuana or cigarettes, etc., they're pretty well known, pretty easy to find out what those negative effects are.
Everyone knows.
Everyone knows, or everyone can know if they want. Yeah.
There's another big trend, obviously, now with technology exponentially developing and AI systems, and I heard you think about that as well. What is your opinion on how technology and AI coming up in this age, how will it interact with the spiritual journey? Is there any intersection there?
There can be, certainly. Part of it's on a very basic level, as I just said. If you want to find out the positive or negative about anything, it's pretty easy to find it out on your phone, on your laptop, or any other way. The media has a lot of information.
That's also one thing I find so remarkable, that when you do research, everyone and everything tells you to do meditation.
Yeah. Well, that's a good sign. Yeah. But one thing you haven't asked me is, what is meditation, Dada?
Oh yeah, that's a more basic question. We should
I'll let you ask it if you want.
Dada, what the hell is meditation even?
Yeah. Okay. There's many types of meditation, of course, and some are involving just breathing, maybe walking meditation, observing things, looking at a certain point, having a certain rhythm in your mind, a certain idea that goes across in your mind. Our teacher, Anandamurti, gives a couple of definitions of meditation. For the basic levels of meditation, he talks about concentrated thinking. Concentrated thinking. Now, concentration, though, if you'll see my body language, is not this. I once told some students at a university in London where I taught meditation that, as I just said, the definition is concentrated thinking, and the feedback I got from them was, Dada, with our school all week long, with our studies, our papers we have to write, the lectures we have to go to, we have to concentrate. We come to meditation so we can relax. Those weren't their precise words, but essentially that's what the students would say to me. I started thinking, what does concentration mean? And literally the word concentration, perhaps, I guess it would come from the French or Latin. It means toward the center, or moving toward the center. If you could somehow make a film of your thoughts, which I don't think we can do yet, you would see that your thoughts are, for the average person, are probably just going here and here and here, and hard to bring your thoughts, your focus toward a central point. With meditation, you can reach that central point. I sometimes think of concentric circles. Are you familiar with that idea?
Yep.
So concentric circles, as I may say in my classes, are where you might draw a circle on a board or on a paper like this, a big circle, then a smaller one, a smaller one, a smaller one, a smaller one, until you get to a center point. Now, for concentric circles, that's not so meaningful, but for your mind, that can be pretty meaningful. And instead of just going all over and never being able to focus yourself, why not take up a practice such as meditation, which can help you to focus, get to that center point.
I see. So meditation, as you define it, provides that central point, which is hard to find when we are having a conversation right now. For example, we are in a way concentrated in the traditional meaning of the word, because we are staying with the thread of thought, but we're moving all over the map.
We are, yeah.
And we're not really finding a center.
We're not, yeah. If you take up a meditation practice and learn to, for example, sit quietly, in the Ananda Marga system we suggest you sit quietly, back straight, perhaps hands folded, eyes closed, and then you repeat the practice, or you do the practice that you learned from the teacher, such as from myself. And this is generally a mantra that you would repeat in the early stages. There's other stages you can learn if you're interested that can take you deeper into meditation. But by focusing on that mantra, your mind can gradually, quickly for some people, not so quickly for other people. Gradually your mind can go away from moving everywhere and reach toward that central point.
And I guess, not to give too much away, but that central point has got to be the real self, the I.
Yeah, that's it. My book on meditation, which you've perhaps seen, is called Meditation Searching for the Real You. There's many levels of us that we have. We may share one level with certain people, another persona with other people, and we may eventually forget who the real you, the real me is. So meditation, with the quietness, the being alone, and the technique that we use, can help you to find who you really are, the essence of Akil, the essence of Dada, or anyone else. Yeah.
One big topic that always pulls through my videos and my channel is confidence.
Yeah.
And it appears to me that to be truly confident, you need to know who you really are. That's, for me, the ultimate basis of confidence.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there are lots of people who would say, I'm really confident, I speak my mind. I mean, there's so many politicians that talk to the world and lead the world. Donald Trump, you would probably consider him a confident person. What do you think about that?
Okay, with many people, with some people it's certainly real confidence, but with other people who need to make a face to the public, it may be that they're good actors. I'm sorry to say, but I see that with many people, many so-called leaders or people in the media. Or it may be that they're confident in what they say to the public. I'm great with cameras, I'm a good speaker, I'm a handsome person, etc. But in other parts of their life, they may be mentally like this, but they may be able to draw all that together for that public moment. Yeah.
I'm also saying this because I meditated for quite a while, but I was still shy.
Yeah.
So meditation, it seems like it's not the only thing you need to overcome social anxieties and anxieties in general. It is a bit of more of an introverted practice. So I think that other part that you mentioned in the beginning, also serving and also acting in the world with others, is extremely important.
Sure. Some people say that, if you do meditation, you're just spending time alone. True, you are, for a little bit of time every day. And that alone time can help to recharge you, to re-energize you, or to charge you up and energize you, if you've never felt much of that. And then you have a lot of, shall I say, wisdom, calmness, a sense of observing things, awareness, that helps you to get on with your life, whether in the work you do or in your social life, in deciding where you want to go with your life. Yeah. So meditation gives you, among many things, it gives you a certain quietness in the mind that many of us never had before. And then we can look more toward our real self. Or find what the real self is.
I have one last question, really. When you get into this topic, you realize that there's lots of work to do. You cannot just learn the meditation. You also want to get involved with the community, start serving others. And there's infinite depth. I still don't understand everything that this guru teaches, right?
Yeah.
I realized, wow, it's like a life's mission to just understand this and to be able also to lead my environment on this path. I really need to understand it. That already feels like it's a life's work. Now, I also have ambitious goals in my professional life. I also want to start a business. I've already started a business. It's still in the early days, and I feel like that's another mission that takes a whole lifetime. And a lot of other people have spent their entire life and every day 24 hours and they still didn't manage. So how do you deal with that feeling of overwhelm, where you think in your spiritual life there's this huge obstacle, and in your worldly life there's also huge obstacles? Is there a way to bring that together?
Yeah. One thing Anandamurti says in one of his core books on the spiritual philosophy is that obstacles are those helping forces which establish you in the goal. Seems pretty strange. I'm not sure I even understand it now. But if I have no challenges in my life, things are going okay, I may get no motivation either. And if you have your business, you want to make it successful, but if there's no challenge, you may think, oh, things are okay. Also, in another direction from what you just said, meditation, finding the absolute ultimate answers of meditation may be a lifetime task, but it's not 24/7.
Yeah.
Do your meditation twice a day, I tell people. It can be 10 or 15 minutes. It can be much longer if you have the time and the motivation. But it's not. It doesn't take all day, and it really can go deep into your mindset, so that it makes you more, as I've said earlier, more aware, more clear thinking. It can help you to understand what your real goal is. With a little bit of reflection, the meditation can help you to understand how you do complete the tasks that you need to make your life goals work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So meditation, as far as I've seen, there's no drawbacks to it, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if it seems difficult at sometimes, I don't know if you've exactly said this, but what we're saying now is the task you have in your life, your company, for someone else that's becoming a teacher, an athlete, a musician, et cetera, it can be pretty difficult to do these things. You have to keep going, you have to keep moving. And meditation also can be difficult in some ways. Maybe your family or friends, oh, meditation, why is he doing that? Why is she doing that? But if you can understand why you're doing meditation, so you can explain it to them and to yourself, and if you do your meditation regularly and you get that touch of joy that will come with meditation periodically, then you can convince yourself and help others understand the value of meditation. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dada. And where can people find you in case they actually want to get in touch with you or your teachings?
Yeah. I work with primarily with Ananda Marga of England. If you go to anandamarga.org.uk, you'll find how to reach me and others. I also have my own website, londonandmeditation.org.uk.
And also on Instagram, I saw.
Yeah, I have Instagram. You would either go to Jyotirupananda or Jyoti. I can't remember the exact name.
I'll put the link in the
video.
video.
Put the link, thanks. Yeah.
Perfect.
Great talking with you, Akhil. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Yeah.